Good evening, Cleveland and Columbus sports fans. You're tuned in live to Gen V on the Show of the Land, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Tonight, we're going to change things up a little bit, and we're going to talk some basketball first, because there is some big news for the Cavs. Then we will also talk about some charge basketball and some college basketball, both men's and women's. Once we're done with basketball, we will move on to some hockey with the Columbus Blue Jackets and the Cleveland Monsters. We'll also talk some volleyball with Ohio State men's volleyball and the Columbus Fury get their season started this week. Then we will wrap things up with some football, baseball, and some miscellaneous college sports news. There's some coaching changes in football, both college and professional, so we will get to that. But before we get started, shout out to our sponsor, Planet Jerky. Be sure to check them out on Instagram at Planet Jerky and on their website, planetjerky.net, for 100% premium beef brisket jerky. Comes in multiple flavors. Be sure to get on and grab you some. They offer free shipping on orders over $50. Shouldn't be too hard to get to $50 with all the amazing flavors they have to choose from. So hop on to planetjerky.net and place your order today and get yourself some premium beef brisket jerky that is so good it's on a whole other planet. Also, be sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on all the socials, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, TikTok, and check out our website, iesportsradio.com, for info on all of our shows, including bios on all of the hosts, the show lineups, our Hall of Fame, our Fan of the Week, and, of course, our blog. Be sure to check out the blog. And you can also chat with some of the members. It's free to join on the website, and you can jump into the forum and have some conversations with a lot of the hosts of the IE Sports Radio Network. So get on and join today. Now for some sports talk. Let's talk about them Cavs. So before I get into the Cavs, I'm just going to talk about what happened today. Tristan Thompson has been suspended for 25 games for violating the league's anti-drug policy. Really stinks with Evan Mobley out. So, that means Damian Jones is probably going to be the backup center because Dean Wade is playing with Evan Mobley out injured. Though Evan Mobley and Darius Garland have both started practicing, no contact yet, but they are doing shooting. So hopefully we will get Evan Mobley back soon, and then Dean Wade can be the backup. But yeah, it really stinks for the Cavs right now, especially since they're already shorthanded. So Tristan, get yourself clean. Get yourself on track and come back better in 25 games. His suspension starts today, so no more Tristan Thompson for a while. Also just announced Donovan Mitchell and Jarrett Allen are finalists for... One second, I gotta pull up the post because I read it as I was getting everything set up. So I don't remember exactly what it said, but let me find it. They have both been named finalists for the 2024 USA Men's National Player Pool. Tristan, Taryn Rodriguez in the chat says, Tristan Thompson, stay off the weed. Yes, please. Pretty please. With sugar on top, I know it's legal now, but there are still rules for your organization, and you still have to follow those. Anyway, back to the Cavs. We're just going to leave Tristan Thompson back there on the back burner until he gets his head on straight. So the Cavs signed Pete Nance to a 10-day contract from the Cleveland Charge. Wednesday, they played the Milwaukee Bucks with the starting five: Donovan Mitchell, Max Strus, Isaac Okoro, Dean Wade, and Jarrett Allen. They were up 32-22 at the end of one, up 66-41 at the end of the half. In the first half, Jarrett Allen recorded his 10th double-double in a row, only the fifth player in Cavs history to have a streak of at least 10 straight double-doubles. And Donovan Mitchell reached 11,000 career points. At the end of three, the Cavs were up 108-67, and they ended up winning 135-95. The Bucks did not show up, and surprise, they fired their coach today. Anywho, as already stated, Jarrett Allen had a double-double with 21 points and 13 rebounds. Georges Niang led the team with a career-high 33 points. And that is that for that game. For the following game, Saturday against the Atlanta Hawks, Caris LeVert was out with a wrist injury. Darius and Evan Mobley, as I stated earlier, have started practicing but no contact. The starting five against the Hawks were Donovan Mitchell, Max Strus, Isaac Okoro, Dean Wade, and Jarrett Allen. During the first quarter, Strus fell hard on his right side and stayed down. He kept playing after the injury time out with a sleeve on his right elbow, but was replaced by Sam Merrill and went straight to the locker room. At the end of one, they were up 25-20. In the second quarter, Strus came back in and played the rest of the game. At the end of the half, they were up 59-45. At the end of three, they were up 93-70, and they ended up winning 116-95. Donovan Mitchell and Sam Merrill led with 18 points each. Jarrett Allen recorded another double-double with 14 points and 11 rebounds. And then last night, the Cavs were in Orlando against the Magic. Caris LeVert was out again with the wrist injury. Starting five: Donovan Mitchell, Max Strus, Isaac Okoro, Dean Wade, and Jarrett Allen. At the end of one, the Cavs were up 38-19. At the end of the half, they were up 72-47. At the end of three, they were up 107-74, and they ended up winning 126-99. Jarrett Allen set a franchise record for most consecutive double-doubles at 12. His double-double was 14 points and 11 rebounds. Donovan Mitchell also recorded a double-double with 25 points and 13 assists. And Sam Merrill led the team with 26 points. The Cavs are currently on an 8-game winning streak. And their next games are Wednesday at the Milwaukee Bucks, Friday at the Milwaukee Bucks, and Monday at home against the LA Clippers. Sam Merrill also tied a franchise record for most 3 points made off the bench. So congratulations to Sam. Congratulations to Donovan Mitchell, who hit 11,000 career points. Congratulations to Jarrett Allen for breaking the franchise record for most consecutive double-doubles. And I just saw earlier today that Isaac Okoro hit 2,000 career points. So congratulations to Isaac Okoro as well. Now, let's move on to the Charge. On Tuesday, the Charge played the Westchester Knicks and won 125 to 117. Sharif Cooper led with 41 points and had a double-double with 12 assists. Malik Fitz had a double-double with 19 points and 11 rebounds. Saturday, they played the Birmingham Squadron and lost 126 to 105. Sharif Cooper led with 22 points. And Gabe Osobuahin, I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that correctly, and Imoni Bates were both suspended for 2 games for entering the stands during that game in Birmingham. From what I understand, there was a fan hassling Imani Bates' mother, so he went out to defend her, and Gabe followed him to protect Bates, resulting in them both being suspended because it is a violation of G League rules for players to enter the stands, regardless of the reason. On Monday, the Charge played the Osceola Magic and won 108 to 106. Pete Nance, who was on loan from the Cavs, led with 25 points. Sharif Cooper had a double-double with 20 points and 10 assists. And Isaiah Mobley also had a double-double with 22 points and 10 rebounds. The Charge's next games will be Wednesday at the Osceola Magic, Friday at the Maine Celtics, and Saturday at the Maine Celtics. So good luck to them on those 3 games. Now for some college basketball. Ohio State's women's basketball team set a program record in attendance against number 2 Iowa at 18,666. Iowa is now number 5, and we'll get to why in a moment. OSU's J.C. Sheldon moved to 10th in all-time scoring in women's basketball. And then Ohio State's women's basketball beat number 2 Iowa in overtime 100 to 92. So Iowa has dropped to number 5, and Ohio State's women's basketball team is up to number 12. Cleveland State's Colby Maples was named Horizon League Women's Basketball Player of the Week. OSU's Cody McMahon was named Naismith Women's College Player of the Week and also named AP National Player of the Week. And OSU's J.C. Sheldon is a top 10 finalist for the Nancy Lieberman Award. So congratulations to all those ladies. Ohio State men's basketball played Penn State on Saturday and won 79 to 67. Ohio State is currently 13-5 overall and 3-4 in the conference. Not a great conference record. Their next games are tonight at Nebraska and Saturday at Northwestern. Ohio State's women's basketball team is 15-3 and 6-1 in conference, and they are currently ranked 12. Kent State played NIU on Tuesday and won 83 to 76, and Friday they played Akron and lost 77 to 71. Kent State is currently 9-9 overall and 2-4 in the conference. Kent State's women's basketball team is doing a little bit better than the men's. They are 11-5 overall and 5-1 in conference. Akron played Western Michigan on Tuesday and won 77 to 66, and Friday they were at Kent State and won 77 to 71. Their record is 14-4 overall and 6-0 in conference. Their next games are tonight against Ohio University and Saturday at Miami of Ohio. Akron's women's basketball team is 6-10 and 1-5 in conference. Cleveland State played Fort Wayne on Saturday and won 75-68. They are 12-8 overall and 5-4 in conference, and their next games are Thursday against Wright State and Sunday against Robert Morris. Cleveland State's women's basketball team is 17-3 and 8-1 in conference. Youngstown State played at Oakland on Wednesday and they did not win. They lost 70-67. And Saturday they were at Detroit Mercy and won 105-64. They are currently 14-6 overall and 6-3 in conference. Next game is Thursday at IUPUI and Sunday against Northern Kentucky. Youngstown State's women's basketball team is 7-12 overall and 3-6 in conference. John Carroll played Otterbein on Wednesday and won 89-69. Saturday they played Ohio Northern and won 82-75. They are currently 16-1 overall and 10-0 in conference. So, way to go, John Carroll. Their next games are Wednesday at Heidelberg and Saturday against Muskingum. John Carroll's women's basketball team, not as good as the men's, is 9-8 and 4-6 in conference. Mount Union played Marietta on Wednesday and won 92-84. Saturday they were at Wilmington and lost 81-76. They are currently 14-3 overall and 7-3 in conference. Their next games are Wednesday at Baldwin Wallace and Saturday against Ohio Northern. Mount Union's women's basketball team is 7-10 overall and 4-6 in conference. Baldwin Wallace's men's basketball team is not doing well, so we're not even going to talk about that. But their women's basketball team is 14-3 overall and 10-0 in conference. So way to go, Lady Bees. That is going to wrap things up for all things basketball. So I am going to take a short break, and when I return, we will talk some hockey and some volleyball. So stay tuned to me, Jen B, on the Show of the Land right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hey sports fans, do you like wine? Well, we've got the show for you. This is Let's Wine About Sports, a show where we talk about wine and sports simultaneously. From the classic Cabernet Sauvignon all the way down to the grapes that you've never even heard of before. Oh yeah, we cover it all. And we'll talk about a little bit of sports as well. Football, hockey, collegiate, women's sports, it doesn't matter. We're going to talk about it all, and we're going to whine about it all. So join me Monday at 8 p.m. on IU Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hey yo, what's up? It's your man Bishop, the voice of This Is KC Sports, the show where we go over the Chiefs, the Royals, KC Current, Sporting KC, MU, and oh yeah, if we got time, we'll even throw in some of that KU stuff for my people on the 913 South. Come and hang out with us every Sunday, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's up, everybody? This is Taryn Rodriguez. Are you a fan of volleyball? Are you a fan of Thunder Spikes? Then I have the show for you. Set Point, where I cover NCAA men's and women's volleyball, high school boys and girls volleyball, beach volleyball, and even professional volleyball. Catch the action every week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Are you a fan of Buffalo sports? Are you thinking of changing loyalties and becoming a Buffalo sports fan? Do you even know where Buffalo is on the map? Did you know Canada is closer to Buffalo than New York City? Welcome to the Buffalo Huddle, every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 4 p.m. Pacific Coast Time on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'm your host, Patty Bax. This is a podcast designed for you, the passionate sports fan. I know you love your sports. Who doesn't? I cover Buffalo sports and so much more by bringing in the human elements. I call it Buffalo sports with a twist. Join me as we take a journey into the world of Buffalo sports. I guarantee you'll fall in love with Buffalo just like I did. Each week we start with an inspiration, question of the day, a Buffalo fun fact, and our weekly challenge to you, the listener. Come huddle up with me. Every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 4 p.m. Pacific Coast Time for the Buffalo Huddle with Patty Bax on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. As we say in Buffalo, go Bills!
You're back live with Jen B on the Show of the Land on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Before we get started on some hockey, just want to give a shout out to the chat room. We've got Taryn Rodriguez, host of our Set Point show for all things volleyball. Be sure to check that out. He is also the host of our SoCal Supreme Sports Show for all things Southern California sports and co-host of our 3 and Out College Edition show, which is currently on hiatus because the college football season is over. And we have Ralph Calise. Thanks for joining, Ralph. He is the host of the Yinzer Report for all things Pittsburgh sports. And we also have Adam Karnick, who says, "Good evening, Jen. What's good in Cleveland?" Not much is good in Cleveland. Tristan Thompson just got suspended for 25 games for doing drugs. Anyway, Adam Karnick is the host of our Chi-Town Weekly show for all things Chicago sports, and also co-host of The Neutral Zone for all things hockey. So be sure to check him out for your Chicago sports news and all things hockey. Now, speaking of hockey, the Columbus Blue Jackets. Boone Jenner returned from IR with his fractured jaw. He's playing with a funky face mask to protect that sensitive jaw. In a corresponding roster move, David Urasek was assigned to the Cleveland Monsters. Spencer Martin was placed on waivers for the purpose of being assigned to Cleveland. However, he did not clear waivers and was claimed by Carolina. And Adam says that Zach will not be on with him tonight. So if you tune into the Neutral Zone tonight, it'll be all Adam. But be sure to tune in because he will be talking about the Blue Jackets tonight. So be sure to check that out. And shout out to Pierre Moss, who has just joined the chat. Thanks for joining, Pierre. He is host of... he does the game calling on our sister station, WSR. Correct me if I'm wrong, Pierre. And a shout out to Patty Bax, who just joined the chat. She is the host of The Buffalo Huddle, which will be right after my show at 7 p.m. Eastern. On Friday, the Blue Jackets played the New Jersey Devils. Cole Sillinger started the Blue Jackets. I almost said the Devils. The Blue Jackets out with a goal. And at the end of one, the Blue Jackets were up 1-0. The Devils tied it up in the second, and then they took the lead 2-1, and then they scored another, and they were up 3-1, and then they scored another, and they were up 4-1. And the Blue Jackets were down 4-1 at the end of two, and they ended up losing 4-2. Cole Sillinger did score another goal in the third, but it was overturned due to offsides. The Blue Jackets recalled David Urasek from Cleveland, activated Nick Blankenberg from IR, and assigned him to Cleveland. The Blue Jackets' next games are tonight at the Edmonton Oilers, Thursday at the Calgary Flames, Saturday at the Vancouver Canucks, and Sunday at the Seattle Kraken. Very tough road trip coming up, starting tonight. I will be happy if they pull out one win on this road trip. That's all I'm asking. I don't think I'm asking for much. Just one win. Just one. Patrick Laine and Zach Werenski are still on IR, but did travel with the team to the West Coast. Werenski could play in the next couple of games. I can't talk tonight. Jeez. Laine is not expected to return until closer to the end of the road trip, so we'll keep an eye on that. Will be great to get Laine back. Really great, because though I don't know, he wasn't so great before he got hurt either, so I don't know, we'll see. Anyway, on to the Monsters. Friday, the Monsters played the Lehigh Valley Phantoms, and they won 4-2. Luca Del Bel Belluz scored a goal in the first, as did the Phantoms, so it was 1-1 at the end of one. James Malatesta scored 2 goals, and Jake Christensen scored 1 goal in the second, and the Monsters were up 4-1 at the end of 2. The Phantoms got a second goal in the third, and as I said, the Monsters won 4-2. Saturday, they played the Lehigh Valley Phantoms again, and Brandon Gaunce had a power play goal in the first, and the Monsters led 1-0 at the end of one. Then Brandon Gaunce got another goal. In the second, the Phantoms also got 2 goals in the second, and then Carson Meyer got a power play goal in the second. So the Monsters were up 3-2 at the end of 2. The Phantoms scored 2 in the third to take the game 4-3. The Monsters' next games are tomorrow against the Toronto Marlies, Friday against the Hartford Wolfpack, and Saturday also against the Hartford Wolfpack. Adam in the chat says, yes, if CBJ comes away with 3 points on that trip, that would be impressive. Yeah, it really would. It would be really impressive. The Monsters also recalled Pavel Kajan from the Kalamazoo Wings and released Hunter Vorva from his PTO. Now for some volleyball, if I can find it. So, the Fury starts their season on Thursday against the Grand Rapids Rise. So we will definitely be talking more about the Fury next week. This week they hired assistant coach Carlos Cardona. So good luck to the Fury in their first game in Grand Rapids. Now for some college volleyball. At the First Point Collegiate Challenge, number 4, Ohio State Men's Volleyball took down number 1, UCLA in 5 sets. They also beat number 13, USC in 5 sets. And OSU Men's Volleyball has reached number 1 in this week's Coaches Poll. So congratulations to Ohio State's men's volleyball team. And they had a very nice showing at the First Point Collegiate Challenge this past weekend. Our own Taryn Rodriguez was there in coverage. So be sure to check out his X page at Setpoint. Help me, Taryn. What is it? At Setpoint. I know this. I just can't think of it. And he's not. Setpoint. Where are we? Just give me 1 second. I got it here. Come on. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Taryn. At set underscore point. IESR. On Instagram and on X, it's at set underscore point IE. Be sure to check him out. He had some great interviews and some great coverage of those matches, not just the Ohio State, but all of the teams that participated. And he says he's hoping to interview their head coach tomorrow. So good luck on that, Taryn. I hope you get that interview, and I will be watching for it. In some other college sports news, Mount Union's women's swimming, Abby Calloway was named OAC Swimmer of the Week. Mount Union's track and field's Vincent Guimenti and Kennedy Waite were named OAC Track Athletes of the Week. Mount Union's men's soccer's Carter Hancock and Jamin McCourt were named OCSA NCAA Division III All-Ohio Team. All-Ohio First Team, And Omar Najjar and Adam Calvitz were named to the third team. Mount Union's women's soccer's Riley Oldfield and Tegan Johnston were named OCSA Academic All-Ohio Second Team. So congratulations to all of those athletes. That is some great honors for them. And Pierre in the chat also says, "Let's get it, Fury." Yes, I'm excited for some professional volleyball. I actually played volleyball in high school, so this is exciting for me. I wish there was a Cleveland team, but Columbus is close enough. So that is going to wrap things up for all things hockey and volleyball. So I am going to take another quick break, and then I will be back to wrap things up with football, and baseball. So stay with me right here on the Show of the Land on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's up, New York? This is Ricky K coming at you at the NY State of Sports, a new show here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Listen to me every Thursday afternoon as we bring you the latest takes on the Yankees, Mets, Jets, Giants, Knicks, Nets, Rangers, Devils, and Islanders. Plus, you get some college hoops and what's the local sports events going on in the area. It's a state that never sleeps, so why not get the opinions and sports takes that never sleep? Again, every Thursday, 2 p.m. to the NY State of Sports. We'll see you then.
It's IE Sports Radio. It is your direct feed for all that is sports. It is Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris every Tuesday night right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris is the most comprehensive view on Philadelphia sports exclusively right here on IE Sports Radio. You know what it is, your direct feed for all that is sports. Tuesday night, IE Sports Radio, Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris.
Hockey fans, I'm Adam Kernick.
And I'm Zach Puplis.
Together, we are the newest version of Hockey Talk on IE Sports Radio, The Neutral Zone.
Zone.
We love hockey, but we also know it's not everyone's first sport. So we want to make this show as much for new fans as for the diehards.
Whether you can name all the Swedes on the '08 Red Wings Stanley Cup team, or if you can't tell if Varlamov is a goalie or the latest trendy vodka, we're here to help. With facts, figures, and outrageous fans, we bring you all the hard-hitting hockey news you can handle, while still keeping it fun and on the rails. Well, mostly.
So tune in every week as we go around the hockey world, from college to Canada, the minors and the majors, and everywhere in between.
So bring your cellies.
And your one-timers.
You wicked wristas.
And be sure to protect your five-hole.
Catch the Neutral Zone every week on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
We promise not to pick on the Arizona Coyotes every episode.
What's up, Pittsburgh? This is Ralph DeLeese, the host of the Injury Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Are you that passionate, diehard Steelers, Penguins, Pirates, or just a Pittsburgh sports fan? Then please join me on the Injury Report every Tuesday on IE Sports Radio, the direct feed for all that is sports. And I will update you on all that's black and gold and have you telling your Pittsburgh fans and friends what's up with Pittsburgh sports. Tune in Tuesday with me, Ralph DeLeese, the Injury Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Let's go!
You're back live with Jen B on the Show of the Land on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. And yes, the Browns season is over, but the changes are not. So let's get into it. The Browns signed defensive tackle Jaden Peavy to a futures reserve contract. He is a 6'5", 308-pound defensive tackle, and it is his first season out of Texas A&M. The Browns also relieved offensive coordinator Alex Van Pelt, running backs coach Stump Mitchell, and tight ends coach T.C. McCarthy of their duties. There is some controversy about what exactly happened, but the latest that I have heard, I guess the Browns were very upset that news leaked about these coaching changes before they made their formal announcement. And actually, I have not even seen that they've made a formal announcement, but well, it is what it is. But it is my understanding that Alex Van Pelt stepped down. Stump Mitchell was fired, and T.C. McCarthy's contract is due to expire, so they're just not renewing. I don't know if that's the truth, because originally it was that they were all fired. That was the original news, but it is my understanding that it was a mutual agreement between the Browns and Alex Van Pelt. Adam in the chat says, should Flacco be brought back? Honestly, I'm torn on that one. Like, he did so many great things for us at the end of the season, and he is one of the big reasons that we made the playoffs. But he's also not getting any younger, and I'm not sure what kind of money he's looking for. I do feel that he would be a quality backup for Deshaun Watson and would be a huge help to DTR in the quarterback room. Andrew Berry spoke earlier this week and did say that he would be open to bringing Joe back, but, you know, it depends on how things pan out in the off season. And Joe had also said that he is going to explore the free agent market and see where things stand. If things go like they did last season and he's sitting on his couch, there's a good chance the Browns will bring him back. But if he may get some offers to possibly be a bridge quarterback for some of the teams that are having some QB issues, or he could get a better paying backup job than what the Browns can afford to pay him. So we'll see what happens with that, but I would not be opposed to bringing him back. I definitely would like to see, after the way things went this season, the Browns have a solid quality backup veteran quarterback. We don't want to have to throw the reins to DTR if, God forbid, something happens to Deshaun Watson again. And, he definitely needs some development. I think if he has prep time, he'd be okay. I just don't like the idea of him going in the middle of a game when he didn't prepare for that game, because he is so young and inexperienced. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, I would not be opposed to Flacco being back to be Deshaun Watson's backup. Not to mention, he's seen so much in his career, he will be a good sounding board for Deshaun Watson as well. So, again, we'll see what happens there. The Browns also signed linebacker Caleb Johnson to a futures and reserves contract. And the interviewing has begun. The Browns interviewed Deuce Staley, former NFL running back and running back coach and assistant head coach of the Panthers, Lions, and Eagles. They also interviewed Ryan Crow, the Titans outside linebacker coach, for a D-line coach position. Speculation is if they were to make a hire there, the current defensive line coach, Ben Bloom, would just be reassigned to a different position group, possibly, or just a new title. They also interviewed former Seattle offensive line coach Andy Dickerson, supposedly for offensive coordinator, but it is possible that they were interviewing him for offensive line just in case Bill Callahan opts to go with his son Brian, who was being hired as the Titans head coach. Wyatt Teller and JOK have been invited to the Pro Bowl to replace Joe Bitonio and TJ Watt, who will miss due to injury. The Browns also interviewed Ken Dorsey for the offensive coordinator position, formerly with the Bills. The Browns are expected to offer Deuce Staley the position of running back coach. However, they do have competition, as the Jets are also expected to make an offer, so we will see how that plays out. The Browns also interviewed Texans quarterback coach Gerard Johnson for offensive coordinator. He is in Cleveland today for a second interview and is considered to be the favorite, so we will keep an eye on that. Myles Garrett was named All-NFL by PFWA for the fourth straight year. Joe Bitonio was named All-AFC by PFWA. The Browns are working to hire Tommy Rees from Alabama to be tight ends coach. He was the offensive coordinator at Alabama. And DeJuan Jones has been named PFW All Rookie Offense. So congratulations to DeJuan Jones, Myles Garrett, and Joe Bitonio. And we will continue to monitor the coaching situation for the Cleveland Browns. It is speculated that Gerard Johnson is the favorite for offensive coordinator, but there is also some competition there. So we will see, and the Texans just may not be willing to let him go. So we'll see what happens there, and we will also see what happens with Deuce Staley. I don't really have an opinion one way or another on who they end up hiring. I feel they know better than I do. It is believed that their goal is to bring some new concepts into the offensive planning for games and to better utilize Deshaun Watson's strengths and things of that nature, and also to improve the run game should something happen with Nick Chubb. They are, based on the cryptic wording Andrew Berry used in his press conference earlier this week, they are working on possibly an extension, restructure, both with Nick Chubb. He did say that they definitely want to keep him in Cleveland. His cap hit is pretty big this season, so I do expect probably an extension and a restructure. So we'll see what happens with that. But should something happen to Nick Chubb again, they need they need to figure something out with the running game because it was pretty much non-existent once Chubb got hurt. Jerome Ford had some flashes. Kareem Hunt is always great at the goal line, but other than that, not much was happening with the run game. So I think that is their plan and their goal. So we will keep an eye on those positions and see how they end up turning out and who ends up getting hired. But hopefully we'll all be for the better, as was the defensive coaching change last season. On to some college football. Ashland's Nehemiah, something like that. Cannon and Jackson Myers received honorable mention. Don Hansen, NCAA Division II All-American honors. Ohio State hired Bill O'Brien to be offensive coordinator and quarterback coach, and they consequently fired quarterback coach Corey Dennis. I believe this is an effort, number one, to improve the offense because the offense was kind of stagnant, and to improve the quarterback play. We shall see. I have seen reports, people saying bringing in Bill O'Brien will make Ryan Day a better coach. So we will see. Something's got to give because they just can't seem to win those big games under Ryan Day. So hopefully this is a positive change and we will see that improvement this season. John Carroll will join the North Coast Atlantic Conference in 2025. Ohio State got defensive back Caleb Downs from Alabama via the transfer portal. They also got five-star freshman quarterback Julian Sain, who had previously committed to Alabama and has now committed to Ohio State. Mount Union's linebacker Mason McMillan was named to the 2023 Academic All-American second team. So congratulations to him. And then last but not least, the Guardians have invited 12 non-roster internal players to spring training camp. Right-handed pitchers Franco Alleman, Tanner Burns, Nick Enright, Jamie Barria, and Adam Oler. Left-handed pitcher Anthony Gose. Catchers Michael Berglund, Brian Lavastida, and Eric Rodriguez. Infielders Reynel Delgado, Kyle Manzardo, Micah Priest, and Daniel Schneemann. And outfielder Petey Halpin. Kyle Manzardo is very intriguing. He is like the number 2 prospect, and he had an amazing year in the fall league and also in the minors this season. So I am looking forward to seeing what he can do in spring training. But yeah, I'm excited for this Guardian season. Did I say Indians earlier? I think I might have. If I did, I apologize. I can't get used to the Guardians. But it's the Guardians. Cleveland Guardians. The Guardians also had their Fan Fest this past weekend, and from all accounts, it was a success. Spring training will be starting soon. Oh, and I almost forgot. The Crew. I forgot about the Crew. The Crew started their training this past weekend on Saturday. So the guys are all back together for training camp as their season will begin, I believe, next month. And they also signed midfielder Taha Habron from the Crew 2 through 2027 with a club option for 2028. Taha has actually been within the organization since Crew Academy and worked his way up. So congratulations to him. And that is going to about do it, folks. That is a lot of Cleveland sports, and my time is almost up. So let's drop that music. That is all for tonight. Thank you for joining me, Jen B, tonight on the Show of the Land. Be sure to follow me on X, Instagram, and Threads at BelieveLandGirl, and on TikTok at Jen, JENN, .BelieveLand. Also follow the show for daily updates on all things Cleveland and Columbus sports on X at Show of the Land, IE. Next up is the Buffalo Huddle with Patty Bax with all that is Buffalo sports. Be sure to catch me next Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern on the Show of the Land for more on Cleveland and Columbus sports, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Have a great night, Ohio.
Bye.